You walk to the bathroom and your legs feel borrowed. Not quite yours, not quite right. Heavy in a way that is hard to explain to someone who has never felt it. And the strange thing is, you did not fall. You did not injure anything. You simply woke up this way. So you keep moving, you make your coffee, you sit down. And somewhere in the quiet of that morning, a thought creeps in that you have been trying to push away for months now. What if this is just how it is from now on?
If you are over 60 and have started noticing your legs feeling weaker, your balance becoming less reliable, or your energy dropping in ways you cannot explain, this is not just a minor inconvenience. It is one of the most common concerns seen in older adults, and it quietly changes how a person lives
from now
each
on.
day.
There is a
Simple
moment
tap.
most people over 70 know, but rarely talk about. You wake up. The room is quiet, and before you even stand, you already feel it. That heaviness. That stiffness sitting deep in your legs, like something has been slowly tightening overnight while you slept. You grip the edge of the bed. You tell yourself it will pass. You stand anyway. But it does not pass as quickly as it used to. I want you to stop right there, because that thought, that quiet resignation, is one of the most dangerous things I see in my patients. Not because it is dramatic, but because it is so easy to believe. For more than 30 years, I have worked with older adults, men and women who came into my office not with emergencies, but with something quieter, a slow, steady loss of strength. Legs that used to carry them through full days now giving out before noon. A confidence that used to feel automatic, now replaced by hesitation at the top of every staircase. I am Dr. Alan Mandell, and I am here to tell you something I tell every single one of those patients. This is not inevitable.
People are claiming it will lower blood sugar levels so dramatically that your A1C will be lower 100%. And you know what? I actually believe them after doing my research and testing on few of the people that I know of, and I'm sorry.
Not inevitable. Hi viewers, here's something I want to know before we go any further. When you wake up in the morning, do your legs feel stiff and heavy, or do they feel ready to move? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Just say stiff or ready. I read every single one. Because here is what I have learned after 3 decades of practice. The body does not give up. It sends signals. And those signals, that morning heaviness, that dragging fatigue, that feeling of legs that no longer feel like yours, they are not the end of the story. They are the beginning of one. And today, I am going to show you something so simple it might surprise you. 3 T's: ordinary, affordable, backed by both ancient wisdom and modern research. And when you understand what they do inside a body over 70, nothing about your morning routine will ever feel the same again. Stay with me, because what comes next changes everything. Most people think what they are feeling is simple old age. They are wrong. What is actually happening inside the body after 70 is not a single problem. It is a system breaking down in multiple places at once. And until you understand what is truly going on beneath the surface, no pill, no therapy, no afternoon walk is going to give you back what you have been losing. Let me show you what I mean. There is a condition called sarcopenia. Most people have never heard that word. But if you are over 60 and your legs feel weaker than they did 5 years ago, sarcopenia is most likely already at work inside you. It is the gradual loss of muscle tissue, silent, steady. And it begins earlier than most people realize, accelerating with every decade that passes after 60. But here is what the textbooks do not always tell you. Sarcopenia is not just about getting older. It is about what aging does to 4 systems simultaneously. Chronic inflammation quietly eating away at muscle fibers. Poor circulation starving those same muscles of the oxygen and nutrients they need to survive. Collapsing mitochondrial function, which means the tiny energy factories inside every muscle cell are producing less and less power. And rising cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, which in sustained high levels does not protect the body. It dismantles it. 4 systems, all failing together. And the tragic mistake most people make is trying to fight them one at a time. A pain reliever for the inflammation, a nap for the fatigue, a heating pad for the stiffness. Each one addressing a symptom while the deeper process continues unchallenged underneath. Think of it like a house with 4 leaking pipes. You can keep mopping the floor, or you can fix the pipes. That is exactly what we are going to do today. Because here is the part that stopped me in my tracks when I first began piecing this together in my clinical work. The compounds most capable of addressing all four of these failing systems simultaneously are not found in a prescription bottle. They are found in plants, roots and leaves that human beings have been using for centuries, long before modern medicine had names for the problems they were solving. And the simplest way to get those compounds into your body every single day? Tea. I know how that sounds. I do. You may be thinking, tea, that is the answer? But I am asking you to stay with me just a little longer, because what the research reveals about these specific plants and what they do inside an aging body is not folklore. It is biology. And once you understand the mechanism, once you see exactly why these compounds work the way they do, a simple cup of tea will never look ordinary again. Here is what I want.
Over time, many people report that their legs feel lighter, movement becomes smoother, and walking feels less tiring than before. Preparation also plays an important role in how effective this tea can be. Fresh ginger root is often more potent than dried powder because it contains higher levels of active compounds. Fresh turmeric is ideal as well, although powder can still be useful when fresh root is not available.
Again. Here is what I want you to understand before we go further. Your legs are not failing because your body has given up. Your legs are failing because your body is not getting the signals it needs to keep rebuilding. Muscle tissue is not static. It is always in a process of breaking down and rebuilding. The question is, which direction is winning? And in a body dealing with chronic inflammation, poor circulation, exhausted mitochondria, and elevated stress hormones, breakdown is winning every single day. That changes today. But I have to warn you, what I'm about to share with the first tea alone surprised even some of my most experienced colleagues, because the combination of two ingredients most people consider simple cooking spices turns out to target two of the four systems driving muscle loss more powerfully than many people ever imagined. And almost everyone making this tea is doing it wrong, missing one critical ingredient that makes the difference between almost no benefit and full therapeutic effect. Your legs feel heavy in the morning. They tire quickly on a short walk. They ache after climbing a single flight of stairs. And you have been told, perhaps by well-meaning people, that this is simply what happens, that you must accept it. I want to be very direct with you right now. That is not the full truth, because hidden inside what feels like ordinary fatigue and ordinary soreness is a very specific physiological problem that can be targeted, addressed, and in many cases genuinely reversed with consistency and the right approach. And the first tea I want to introduce to you is the one that targets the two most immediate causes of leg weakness in older adults: inflammation and poor circulation. Meet ginger turmeric tea. Now I understand what you might be thinking. Ginger and turmeric. Those are spices in my kitchen cabinet, and you are right, they are. But when these two roots are combined in hot water and consumed daily, something happens that goes far beyond flavor. These are two of the most studied anti-inflammatory and circulatory compounds in all of nutritional science, and together they create a therapeutic effect that targets the exact biological environment responsible for weak, heavy, painful legs. Let us start with ginger. Ginger contains active compounds called gingerols, and what gingerols do inside the body is remarkable. They act as natural vasodilators. That word means they relax the walls of blood vessels, allowing blood to move more freely through the body, more freely through the legs, more freely into the muscles that have been quietly starving for oxygen and nutrients. Think about that for a moment. One of the most overlooked causes of heavy legs in people over 70 is not muscle damage. It is poor delivery. The muscles are there, but the circulation bringing them fuel has slowed, narrowed, become inefficient. So even a body that eats well and rests properly cannot get the right materials to the right places in the right amounts. Ginger begins to change that. Patients in my practice who begin daily ginger tea often describe the same thing after 1 to 2 weeks. Their legs feel less like lead. The heaviness that used to sit in their calves and thighs from the moment they woke up begins to lift earlier in the day. Walking feels less like pushing through resistance and more like simply moving again. That is circulation being restored. Now add turmeric. Turmeric contains a compound called curcumin, and curcumin is one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatory agents ever studied. What it does is block the specific inflammatory enzymes and signaling molecules that are actively breaking down muscle tissue in an aging body. It calms the internal fire, it gives the muscles breathing room, it reduces joint stiffness and soreness after activity, and critically, it protects muscle fibers from further damage so that the rebuilding process can actually begin. Ginger opens the door, turmeric clears the path. Together, they do something neither can do as effectively alone. Ginger improves circulation, bringing oxygen and nutrients deep into the muscle tissue. Turmeric reduces inflammation, creating the environment those muscles need to actually use those nutrients to repair and grow stronger. One fuels the process, the other protects it. But now, I need to tell you the part that most people get completely wrong. Because there is a critical element that determines whether this tea gives you full benefit or almost
it seems like quite the wise choice. So go no further for the elixir of health. This very impactful, strong herbal tea is it. Now let's get brewing. But hold on. Not so quick, right? I need to tell you how it works first. You know, us doctors, we like to talk a lot, and you need to listen because you are a patient. We call you a patient for a reason, right? Well, I promise it will be
almost none at all. And the vast majority of people preparing ginger turmeric tea are missing it entirely. Black pepper. A single small pinch of black pepper added to this tea increases the absorption of curcumin by up to several 100%. Not a small improvement. Several 100%. The reason is a compound in black pepper called piperine, which helps curcumin pass through the intestinal wall and enter the bloodstream where it can actually do its work. Without that pinch of pepper, most of the curcumin you drink passes through your body without ever being absorbed. You are making tea and getting almost none of the benefit you came for. One pinch, that is all it takes. Use fresh ginger root when you can. Fresh turmeric root is ideal, though the powder works as well. Add your small pinch of black pepper. A slice of lemon or a teaspoon of raw honey improves the flavor without interfering with the effect. Let it steep. Drink it warm. And then do it again tomorrow. Consistency is everything here. This is not a medication that floods your system in one dose. This is a daily signal you are sending to an aging body. A signal that says, circulation matters here. Inflammation will not go unchallenged here. And that signal, repeated every single day, begins to shift the balance from breakdown toward rebuilding. Some of my patients feel the difference in 1 week. Others need 3 or 4 weeks of daily use before they notice the change in how their legs feel during a walk. What matters is not how fast. What matters is that you stay consistent long enough to let the shift happen. But I have to be honest with you about something. Ginger turmeric tea will transform how your legs feel during the day. The soreness, the heaviness, the stiffness after activity, those begin to respond. But there is another layer of this problem, one that sits deeper, one that most people and many doctors completely overlook. It is not the pain that stops most older adults from staying active. It is the fatigue, the bone-deep exhaustion that arrives before noon and does not leave. The feeling of running on empty no matter how much sleep you get. And for that, ginger and turmeric alone are not enough. What you need next? Target something happening inside your cells. Something so fundamental that without addressing it, energy can never truly return. And most people have no idea it exists. Let me ask you something personal. When did you last wake up feeling genuinely energized? Not just rested, not just okay, but truly ready. Legs light, mind clear, body willing to move without negotiation. For many people over 70, that feeling has become a distant memory. And they have accepted its absence the way you accept the weather, something outside their control, something that simply is. But it is not outside your control, and it is not simply how aging feels. There is a specific biological reason energy collapses in older adults, and it begins inside something so small you cannot see it, but so important that without it, nothing in your body works the way it should. Mitochondria. Every muscle cell in your body contains hundreds of these microscopic structures. Their only job is to convert the food you eat and the air you breathe into usable energy. They are the power source, the engine. And in a body over 70, that engine is running at a fraction of its former capacity. Mitochondrial decline is not dramatic. It does not announce itself. It simply means that day by day, month by month, Your cells are producing less energy from the same
every day.
inputs. You eat the same.
Many people are told that this is simply what aging looks like, that once you pass a certain age, weakness is unavoidable. But that idea is misleading and overly simplistic. While the body does change with time, decline is not something that must be accepted as fate. Strength, mobility, and stability can still be preserved well beyond 60 when the body is supported in the right way.
You eat the same food. You sleep roughly the same hours, but you wake up with less. You move with less. You finish the day with almost nothing left. This is why rest alone cannot fix fatigue in older adults. You are not tired because you have not slept enough. You are tired because your cellular machinery has become inefficient. And no amount of rest repairs a declining engine. That requires something different. Enter ginseng green tea. Ginseng has been used in Asian medicine for centuries, not as a stimulant, not as a quick energy fix, but as what we call an adaptogen, a substance that helps the body find balance, manage stress, and restore the systems that generate resilience and vitality. And what modern research has revealed about ginseng's active compounds, called ginsenosides, is extraordinary. Ginsenosides improve the way muscle cells use oxygen during physical activity. They reduce the output of cortisol, the stress hormone that accelerates muscle breakdown. And critically, they support mitochondrial function. They help restore efficiency to those declining cellular engines, not by forcing the body into overdrive, but by giving it back what age has slowly taken away. The difference patients describe is not a jolt. It is not a rush. It is more like a light coming back on in a room that had been slowly dimming for years. They walk further before needing to rest. They climb stairs without stopping to catch their breath at the top. They make it to the afternoon without collapsing into a chair. And they begin to feel something they had quietly stopped expecting, the desire to move. Because here is something medicine does not always account for. Mental fatigue and physical fatigue are not separate problems. They are the same problem wearing two different faces. When the mind is exhausted, the legs do not move. When a person feels mentally foggy, overwhelmed, or depleted, no amount of physical capacity actually gets used. Ginseng addresses both.
The real issue is not aging itself, but how we respond to it. In clinical practice, one of the most important patterns observed is that people who age better are not just those who rely on medical treatment alone. Instead, they are the ones who build consistent daily habits that support the body's natural systems. These habits do not need to be extreme or complicated. In fact, some of the most effective changes are surprisingly simple and sustainable.
Clinical studies have shown that ginsenosides improve not only physical endurance, but also cognitive performance and mental clarity. The fog lifts. The heaviness in the mind eases. And suddenly the body that was capable of more all along begins to actually express that capacity because the person inside it finally feels willing to try. Now, pair that with green tea. Green tea is rich in a group of antioxidants called catechins. And what catechins do inside aging muscle tissue is protect it. Oxidative stress, the cellular damage caused by free radicals, is one of the primary drivers of muscle aging. It damages the proteins and structures inside muscle cells, accelerating their decline. Catechins neutralize that damage. They act as cellular bodyguards, preserving muscle integrity at the level where decline actually begins. Green tea also contains a modest amount of natural caffeine, far less than coffee, enough to produce a gentle, noticeable lift in alertness and energy. But what makes green tea unique is the presence of an amino acid called L-theanine. L-theanine calms the nervous system, and when paired with caffeine, it produces something unusual and valuable: focused, clear, calm energy. No spike, no jitter, no crash 30 minutes later. For older adults who are sensitive to strong stimulants, this balance is not just pleasant, it is essential. Ginseng and green tea together create a tea that works on every level of the fatigue problem. Ginseng restores the cellular engine and calms the hormonal environment. Green tea protects the muscle tissue and delivers calm, sustained mental clarity. Together, they give the body the fuel to move and the mind the willingness to use it. Preparation matters here, just as it did with the first tea. Do not use boiling water for green tea. The extreme heat destroys the delicate catechins you are brewing for, Allow the water to cool for 1 to 2 minutes after boiling. Steep your green tea for 2 to 3 minutes first. Then, add fresh ginseng root slices or a small measure of dried ginseng powder and steep for another 5 minutes. A touch of raw honey is fine. Heavy sweeteners will undermine the metabolic benefits you are working toward. Drink this in the morning. Let its calm, steady energy carry you through the first half of your day. And then pay attention. Because the difference is not always dramatic at first. It is quiet. A walk that used to wind you does not. A task you used to put off because you had no energy gets done before noon. A day that used to shrink around your fatigue begins to feel a little larger, a little more like yours again. That is not wishful thinking. That is biology responding to the right signal. But I need to tell you something now that most people, even health-conscious people, completely overlook. Because we have addressed inflammation, circulation, and cellular energy. And those 3 things will genuinely change how your legs feel during the day. But muscles do not rebuild during the day. They rebuild at night. And if what happens while you sleep is being disrupted by something most people over 70 are carrying without even knowing it, then everything we have built with the first 2 T's can only take you so far. What happens overnight in the aging body is where the real battle is won or lost. And what I'm about to tell you about the 3rd T may be the most important thing in this entire video. Let me tell you what is happening while you sleep, or more accurately, what is not happening. Deep in the sleep cycle, in the stages of rest most people over 70 rarely reach anymore, the body releases growth hormone. That hormone is the signal that tells muscle tissue to repair, to rebuild, to come back stronger than it was the day before. It is the body's overnight construction crew. And without those deep restorative stages of sleep, that crew never arrives. The damage from the day goes unrepaired. The inflammation that built up during activity stays elevated. The muscle fibers that were broken down in the process of normal movement never get the signal to grow back. And so, you wake up the next morning with legs that feel no better than when you went to bed, sometimes worse. This is the hidden cycle that traps so many older adults. They try to stay active during the day. They feel worse the next morning. They wonder if movement is even helping. They do less. They weaken further. And the entire downward progression accelerates, not because they gave up, but because the one process that could turn the effort into actual improvement never got the chance to work. Now, here is the question nobody asks. Why is deep sleep disappearing? The answer in most older adults comes down to one word: cortisol. Cortisol is the body's primary stress hormone. In short bursts, it is protective, necessary. But in the aging body, cortisol levels frequently remain elevated throughout the day and into the night, driven by physical stress, emotional worry, chronic low-grade inflammation, and the accumulated weight of decades of demands on the nervous system. Elevated cortisol at night is devastating. It keeps the nervous system alert when it should be unwinding. It prevents the deep sleep stages where growth hormone is released. It actively breaks down muscle tissue rather than allowing it to repair. And it creates a neurological state of low-level tension that persists even when the conscious mind has no particular worry to attach to. Many older adults describe lying in bed exhausted but unable to fully let go. Sleeping but never deeply. Waking at 2 or 3 in the morning for no clear reason. Rising in the morning feeling like the night did nothing for them. That is cortisol, working against the body it was designed to protect. And this is precisely where the 3rd T enters. Not just as a sleep aid, but as something far more fundamental: ashwagandha root tea. Ashwagandha has been used in Ayurvedic medicine, the traditional healing system of India, for thousands of years. It was given to older adults specifically as a tonic for strength, recovery, and the restoration of vitality that age had diminished, and modern clinical research has now confirmed what those ancient practitioners observed. Ashwagandha is one of the most effective natural cortisol regulators ever studied. Its active compounds, called withanolides, work directly on the hormonal pathways that govern the stress response. They lower elevated cortisol. They calm the overactive nervous system. They allow the body to shift from the state of chronic tension it has been locked in and move toward the state of restoration where actual healing can take place. The effect on sleep is profound. Patients who begin evening ashwagandha tea consistently report the same changes. They fall asleep more easily. They stay asleep longer. They reach the deeper stages of rest that had been eluding them for years. and they wake up feeling something they had quietly stopped expecting, actually rested, but the benefits do not stop at sleep. Ashwagandha strengthens what are called neuromuscular connections, the communication pathways between the nervous system and the muscles of the legs. These connections are responsible for balance, coordination, and the confidence of each step. As they weaken with age, the result is not just physical instability. It is a psychological one. People begin to feel uncertain on their feet. They hesitate at curbs and stairs. They grip handrails not just for safety, but because something in their body no longer fully trusts itself. Ashwagandha helps restore that trust. Clinical studies have shown that consistent use improves muscle strength, reduces fatigue, and meaningfully improves balance in older adults. The body moves with more coordination. The steps become steadier, and something shifts that goes beyond the physical. Confidence returns. I have watched this happen in my own patients more times than I can count. Men and women who came in gripping the walls, who had stopped going to family gatherings because the fear of an unsteady moment in public had become too great, who had slowly shrunk their world to the few rooms where the floors were familiar and the furniture within reach. After weeks of consistent ashwagandha tea in the evening, those same patients begin to walk differently. Not because they are trying harder, but because the system governing their balance and their body's trust in itself has been quietly restored. Preparation for ashwagandha requires a bit more patience than the other teas, because the root is dense and needs time to release its compounds properly. Simmer dried ashwagandha root pieces gently in water for 10 to 15 minutes. Strain carefully and drink it warm. The flavor is earthy, slightly nutty, and pairs beautifully with a stick of cinnamon or a small spoon of raw honey. Ashwagandha tea bags or a powder are available for convenience. Though the root itself offers the purest and most complete effect, timing matters. If your priority is calm daytime energy and stress reduction, morning works. But if your goal is better overnight recovery and the muscle rebuilding that only deep sleep makes possible, evening is when this tea does its finest work. And consistency, as always, is the entire game. Adaptogens do not work like stimulants. They do not flood the system with a sudden effect. They work the way real restoration always works, gradually, patiently, shifting the body's baseline from depletion toward balance over days and weeks of steady use. Now let me bring the full picture together for you, because these 3 teas are not separate suggestions. They are a system. And when you understand them as a system, the strategy becomes clear. In the morning, ginger turmeric tea opens the blood vessels, floods the muscles with oxygen and nutrients, and begins calming the inflammation that has been quietly breaking tissue down. That single cup changes the chemical environment your muscles spend the day in. During the morning hours, ginseng green tea restores the cellular energy machinery, supports the mind's clarity and motivation, and delivers calm, sustained alertness that makes the desire to move feel natural rather than forced. In the evening, ashwagandha root tea lowers cortisol, calms the nervous system, and creates the hormonal and neurological conditions that allow deep sleep to return. And in that deep sleep, the construction crew finally arrives. The growth hormone is released. The muscle fibers repaired from the day's activity begin to rebuild. The legs that worked hard during the day come back a little stronger the next morning. That is the cycle, broken for so long in so many older adults. And with these 3 teas as daily anchors, it can begin again. Before I close, I want to speak directly to those of you watching this not for yourselves, but for someone you love. A parent, a spouse, a friend you have watched slowly losing ground, losing strength, losing confidence, losing the independence that meant everything to them. If that is you, I want you to know something. Sharing this information is one of the most meaningful things you can do. Not because tea alone changes everything, but because it starts a conversation. Because it says to the person you love, I see what you are going through, and I am not willing to accept that nothing can be done. Because nothing in my 30 years of practice has been more powerful than that message. Let me give you the simple picture one final time. Ginger turmeric tea every morning with a pinch of black pepper. That targets inflammation and circulation, the 2 forces most responsible for heavy, painful, uncooperative legs. Ginseng green tea in the morning hours. That targets mitochondrial energy and mental clarity, the 2 forces most responsible for the fatigue that makes staying active feel impossible. Ashwagandha root tea in the evening. That targets cortisol, the nervous system, and deep sleep, the three forces most responsible for the breakdown that happens when the body never truly gets to rest and rebuild. 3 T's, 3 windows of the day, 3 systems being supported simultaneously rather than one at a time. This is not a dramatic intervention. It is a quiet, consistent, daily act of choosing to support the body, rather than simply wait for further decline. And I have seen what that choice produces in patients well into their 70s, their 80s, and beyond. Legs that move with more ease, steps that carry more confidence, mornings that feel like an opening rather than a confrontation. The body does not stop responding to the right signals simply because it has gotten older. It is still listening. It is always listening. The question is whether you are willing to speak to it every single day. Start tomorrow morning, 1 cup, 1 step. And then come back and tell me in the comments what you noticed, because your experience matters. And someone out there reading your words may find in them exactly the encouragement they needed to begin. Now, before you go, I want to tell you about the next video I am preparing, because what we covered today is the foundation. But there is a 4th factor driving leg weakness in older adults that almost no one talks about. It is not inflammation, it is not circulation, it is not fatigue, it is something happening in the gut. And when I first connected this research to the complaints my patients had been describing for years, I understood why so many people who do everything right still cannot get their strength fully back. You will not want to miss that one. It may be the piece you have been missing all along.